He's kind of taken on. He said, okay, yeah, facilitating's fun, but I'll score a bunch. He had 32, 11, and 9 in the game. Here he is after the 13th straight W with Allie Clifton.
Well, obviously, we just look a little sluggish, and throughout the 82-game season, there's going to be games like that where you just feel real sluggish and you don't know how to get out of it. We just had to change our body language from the first half to the second half. Started to make shots, started to get stops, and fourth quarter came in with that huge spark to start the fourth, and I just tried to close it out.
Last 5 wins of these now 13 in a row, DZ, shooter's paradise for LeBron, shooting 46% from 3. In addition to 63% from the field, he's been efficient. He's getting players involved. We saw him play excellent down the stretch last year in the playoffs. Is this the best you've seen him to open a season?
No question about it, because we're so used to LeBron being the facilitator, making sure everyone's touching the ball, where now LeBron's saying, I'm really a scorer, and I got to get in attack mode and make the defense play me so I can get everyone else involved. So that's why I'm so impressed early in the season, to your question, and shooting the 3-ball. We've always been a sketchy 3-point shooter, but now he's making huge shots at the right time to make sure his team gets a victory.
Shaq, when you're sitting there and you know that you're a force like he is, like you were, and you've got no IT and some of these other injuries, how much is the onus to kind of take it on yourself a little bit more, take on the load, and kind of take the team with you?
Well, a lot of people, don't give this guy enough credit. This is a new team. It's not the team that they've, went to East Conference Finals. They have new players. New players have to get adjusted to the city, to the court, to the way LeBron plays. They started off slow. Everybody bashed him. It's time to worry. It's time to panic. We have woken the king up. Now he's playing at a high level. And I've always said we can't judge this team until IT comes back. But, LeBron, he's a veteran. And, when you become a veteran, you don't really worry about, winning 60, 70 games, trying to get the number 1 spot. You just want to get one of those 4 spots so you can get home court advantage. Early in the year they were bored. Everybody wasn't in tune. But now they're starting to pick it up. And, a lot of people think Boston's going to be the clear favorite to win the East. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you, not only, Shaq, have we seen LeBron play the way he's played, DZ, without IT, without Derrick Rose. Other guys have stepped up. Jeff Green, we talked about, has played some good basketball. Yes. Kyle Korver has been, as they're calling him now in Cleveland, the 4th Korver, because he's hitting so many big threes late in games, and he's looking like the guy the Cavs thought they were going to get when they brought him over.
And once again, this is why LeBron is so smart about understanding the 4th quarter, that I have a shot maker on the floor. And Kyle Korver is one of those guys that continues to move well without the basketball. So LeBron's saying, you know what, let me keep the ball. D-Wade, let's keep the ball. Let's get the hottest guy or the hottest hand on the floor at the game in the 4th quarter. Lately, it's been Kyle Korver. So the spacing is going to be there. It's all about setting good screens, being patient. And once we know when D-Wade's on the floor, he understands where the hot hand is well. So you ask yourself, Casey, when Kyle Korver's on the floor, why not use that weapon? Not just have him stand still and be a spacer. Give him the ball. There you go. Look at that space right there, Casey. Now you know he's a great shooter. Elbows in, you leave it. That shooter's paradise all night long. That's why LeBron wants him on the floor in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's worked out so far, and their streak now, by the way, could keep going. Interesting games coming up. They get Philly here in a bit, so that'll be kind of fun to see what happens. They handled them easier the last time, but they're on a roll. You mentioned IT. I think that's the interesting thing now, right, Shaq? Because they're in such a roll, such a groove. That's going to be a big change, right? You had the 4-on-4 play with him and Tristan Thompson, so they're getting closer. Does it take a long time? Do you have to almost kind of go backwards now before you go forwards when the guys come back?
You look at these guys playing pickup games. The unfortunate thing is nothing will get you ready for NBA. You can do this. You can play with your homeboys. You can go to Lifetime. You can go to 24-Hour Fitness. Nothing will get you acclimated to game fitness but games. So when he comes back, it's going to take him probably about a week or 2 to get acclimated. But, he's getting a new lesson in basketball because, when he was in Boston, he was a go-to guy. So now that they're going on the streak, he's sitting back saying, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. So, when he comes, because he's a great unselfish player, he'll definitely fit in.
Yeah, I can't figure out, DZ, whether or not the Derrick Rose situation should be talked about on this channel or Bravo, because I really don't understand it, to be quite honest with you. He did apologize for the team. I don't necessarily know for what. Is it that he had to think about, does he want to fight through rehab? I mean, do you get any sense of what is going on there with Derrick Rose?
No, very good, Casey. The only thing I can say, Casey, is that you go from being the youngest MVP in NBA history. You get the big Adidas contract. You get the big contract from Chicago. Injury, 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 injury. And then you finally get to New York. You play pretty good. You're showing the rest of the basketball world maybe you have some left.
Yep.
Then you go to Cleveland. You were going there to say, I'm going to be a backup. Then Kyrie's gone. IT's hurt. Now you need to start. Injury again. I'm just going to say the young man's human. He's made a lot of money, but I think he loves the game so much. That's why he got so frustrated and said, wait a minute. Do I still have it? Can I still play? I've been hurt 5 straight years and hadn't gotten back to the player that once was. We all loved that jumped CP3, Darren Williams, any other point guard in the NBA at that time when he was hot. It was a clear cut. Derrick Rose number 1. Now Derrick Rose not even a conversation.
Right. So maybe some soul searching for Derrick Rose. I mean, is that what you think it was?
I'm not going to bash the guy. You know, I kind of feel for the guy.
Yeah.
You know, it was similar, you know, to what I went through my last 5 years, just injury. And when you're at a guy that plays at a high level all the time, you always expect to play that way. So when you start coming towards the end of your career and your injury, like these guys said, now it starts to creep in your mind. Am I done? Am I done? So, you know, he's just taking his time, and, you know, he's going to have to make a tough decision here. Do you fight the rehab, try to come back and help these guys up, or do you just give it up? But I feel for the guy. I understand what he's going through. And again, you know, like D stated, when you're the youngest MVP and you're on top of the world, everything's going good, it's all gravy. But as soon as, you know, you start to, you know, go on the old man side, like you know, me and D had to go through, then you start, I mean, because, you know, we grew up playing this game, we love to play this game, and we always said to ourselves, this is never going to end. You know, especially when you first come in, you get the big contracts, like this is never going to end. But at some point, everyone has to retire, and you don't want to retire because of injury, but you may have to just say, you know what, I'm done. My body can't take it anymore.
All right, we'll wait to see that. Also, whether or not Shaq will take me as his running mate when he runs for office.